Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, so we're having technical difficulties. Round two of technical difficulties. So we're gonna see if we can get this done. If I can't get this to work, guys, I'm gonna have to come back on later on because this will be the second time, and then the third time will be the chart. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Bitcoin for checking in yet again. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Happy New Year's to everybody. Haven't spoken to you guys. Been live in a while now. So we shall see if I am going to have technical difficulties or not. But it's looking like I am having technical difficulties. So we stop sharing screen. Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? No, you can't see me. So weird. All right, can we get it to work? Can you get it to work? I'm trying to share my screen, guys, because I have a ton of new music I was trying to show you guys, but it's not letting me share my screen. I'm on a different browser. I usually use Brave browser right now. I'm using Safari because I feel like I have a ton of tabs open on Brave, which is probably the reason why it's not acting right. But anyways, hope you guys had a good new year. This is Bitcoin Chris checking in yet again. I don't have any of my stuff on this browser. Oh, we can try. Let's try this. My Jimmy Sean swag here. So we can do this. Does this work? All right, that works. I'm not logged in. I don't even know my username and password, but we're gonna look at the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price per usual, and we're gonna see what's up. Having bad internet is crazy. I guess I'm in this coffee shop. It's not really my fault, but hey, here we are. All right, so we haven't, or I haven't, been on in a minute. So again, what's up, everybody? Bitcoin Chris checking in. I hope you guys are doing all right. I think you can see me. I think you guys can hear me. Check audio. So we haven't. Audio's good. All right, cool. So we're gonna pull some fibs here. We have a high of 2126. This is back in October. Excuse me. So from October to now, we've came down to 80,000. So 126 to 80,000. We have a drop of about 36%, which is normal. And we have a 6.18 of 109. Again, 97 was the first target. We did not reach the first target. Let's do the line here. Resistance is here. Support is down here. Break this support. Where are we on the daily? If we break this support, we are coming down to about here, 77. So, like I said, I wanted Bitcoin to dump a little bit more, but it didn't. If we lose this, we're coming down to touch last cycle's high. Boom. We shouldn't lose that at all. We shouldn't lose any of this. And last but not least. All right, cool. These would be my levels for BTC. Let's look at our levels above. We have resistance there. We have resistance there. And then we have, of course, resistance where we were at up here. 120, 126. Boom. These are the levels I would look at. As you can see here, bounce, bounce, came up, rejected, 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 came back up, rejected, 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 down. So this is what I would be looking at as far as the levels go, man. I hope everybody's doing all right. We're just going to do some quick TA real quick before I jump into today's topics. Yeah, downtrend break. It's your bottom right here. One bottom, two bottom, triple bottom. I didn't mean for it to be the middle finger. It doesn't really matter. So, all right. So, boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Support, support, support. I was looking at this as a bear flag, which I called, but it didn't play out. And I see the bear flag here. It was like this. I was calling.
Eles, como a gente está sabendo disso? Sim, mas foi os pedidos que eu fiz. Ué, mas ela teve que passar por mim. Fez direto para o banco, cara. Não, você sabe passar por você. Eu não tenho nem força, não tenho nada. O cara tudo feito. Cara, não tem impacto.
You look at that, lines up perfectly with the $60,000 level that I just did. So that is your possible downside. Actually, those are the upside fibs. Let's do the downside fibs, which I think I did in the other post here.
Tirou o chroma do crédito, tirou o sunscreen dela.
I'll just go
O que o cara está oferecendo? Essa base de capital, o posto,
6.
o posto do que é o fio do tablet, se ele tiver. Era para ele colocar um infused.
Come on, man. I'm already joined, man. You're not gonna let me get, you're not gonna let me move. All right, anyways.
Eu quero dar assim, eu vou ficar sem bate.
You're gonna make me log in. All right, let me log in.
Se aguenta, ele vai perder dinheiro. E vou chamar um chapter lá. E porque o cara não está pensando em ter que contar para ter que virar. Então, eu posso, olha, eu não tenho muito tempo de pagar você. Eu estou me devendo 950 mil. Eu fiquei preso por 950 mil. Acho que vou receber 300 mil. Para começar com isso.
All right, I'm in. Boom, boom.
Aguardando, na verdade, eles já conseguiram a operação. E a gente comprou a empresa. E eu recebi me deu informação do que você não pede. Você recebeu a sua?
Downside fibs from the upside 126.
Aí se deu 600, você pode.
We have a bounce up to the 618, which would be 98. We didn't hit 98, we came up to 94. 618 is going to be 98. And then if we hit 98 and don't continue to head higher, we can definitely come up, hit the 618, even the 886. Wait, no, 886 isn't on here. We'll put that on here.
Assim, ó. 300 mil. Que não tinha só eu como devedor. Tinha mais gente. Vamos lá. A empresa não estava insolvente. Ela tinha que pagar tudo mundo. Todo mundo sabe. Estoque, marketing, equipamento. Só que ele pediu uma auto-falência. Não quero mais. Quero parar as operações. Eu pedi uma auto-falência, vamos liquidar todo mundo. O cara queria fazer com o cara estava na taxa. Eles não estavam na área, que faz o cara.
All right, so it would be
As ações dele eram $3,60.
it would be here. I would look for anywhere between, which we already passed these levels. 97, 98, and then head down lower to the level shown above. We're gonna have to wait and see. But this is a nasty looking candle on the daily. Let's clean this up. Let's clean this up. Yesterday's candle looks crazy. But we do have this nice doji bullish.
Se baixasse de $2, fazia esse dobramento. Aí voltava a 4 dólares. Aí baixa.
Bullish candle here. But this is also bullish, but we still, well, it's red.
Pagava comissão pro banco.
Still came down and clapped up everybody. So we're gonna also take a look at coin glass, and we're gonna look at MicroStrategy as well, because I'm sure if Bitcoin dump, MicroStrategy will dump as well.
Okay,
MicroStrategy's up for the day. We have. We do local high or all time. All time is back here. All right, so I'll pull from this side. I do a couple of these.
Eu queria pegar. Ele estava com dificuldade na construção do seguro. Eu já tinha pedido construção pelo tempo. Então, fornecedor novo. Mas quem quando eu esse cara, esse cara. Vamos então, através da sua opinião, nossa, e aí preciso a minha esposa, ela foi gerida de categoria. A gente tem uma proposta aqui. Você vai seguir o prato. Eu vou que dinheiro pro cara, olha, pra mim, aqui, ó, porque tá sendo Deloitte. Então,
All right, so MicroStrategy, we're looking pretty good for MSTR. Obviously, we have our support down here.
antes de deixar o bloco, o pagamento
All right, so first level for MSTR, 618 from the recent high is going to be 283.11. And then from the previous high before that, which is here, we have a 6.3 at 383. So let's look at the percentages on these. This would be at 70%, 70 to 100% for MSTR. I would.
O cara mandou solto e contigo, que eu devia 2, o cara mandou 5 contêineres.
November.
Diferente, cara.
That was in November.
Eu tô escrevendo 3 contêineres.
24? Time flies.
Mas não, pode contar com isso.
All right, so that would be the levels I'll be looking at on MSTR. Looks like we're at a really good discount. MSTX.
Diferente, cara, assim. Já não, pô, tá mandando diretamente pra ele. Eu mando diretamente pra ele, cara. Não, mas o que dizer não chegou, tudo chegou.
20 to 200.
O problema é outro, né? Ele é eu, cara. Eu não tô nem conseguindo nada. Se tivesse brilhante, mais Lavoura Solutions.
If you don't have enough to buy MicroStrategy or you don't want to buy MicroStrategy, you can do MSTX, which is 2 times the leverage. So obviously, they get hit harder when MicroStrategy dumps, and they'll also pump harder when MicroStrategy pumps. So let's pull the fibs from here. Just like a double top, pull it in, came down. 618 is here at 32, so from 4 to 32, 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, almost 700%. 600%, okay, 600%. There you go. That's your opportunity for MSTX.
Eu tô mandando pra mim. Se fosse comigo, eu teria essa missão. Eu vou tocar de cima. Fornecedor, 5%. Eu te dar guarda-chuva e funciona. Ele gelo na hora do frio.
So you're sitting the double top, came down trend. Let me add my 200. I don't know if I can add that on here. Can I do it?
Não. Você é ponta firme. Não quer. Exatamente. Ele vai falar assim, você não falha. Você paga, cara. Dá alguma, cara. Pô, eu vou comigo, eu vou lá conversando. Eu acredito que se eu pegar um voo lá e vai levar para banco, sabe? É interessante. Equador. Gostei.
Of course, we always got to have our 20 and 200.
Não, preço, cara, muita coisa. Vamos lá. Se tiver preço, sabe? Eu vou te contar. Olha, tem que pegar. Não tem uma ideia. Para quem vence muito camarão do Brasil? Lá, vamos falar. O quê? Selvagem, cara, mano. E a Argentina, que é o camarão argentino, entendeu? Ah, é? Ah, o rosa lá da. Sim, sim, sim. E que tem um negócio que é. Tá indo lá para. Tá dentro chinês, vão lá, se matar, lá.
Okay, on the weekly, you can see the double top a little bit more clearly here. I guess you can kind of say the double
O
top.
chinês, para fazer o canapé, deles. Ó. E o italiano fica para fácil.
All right, so on the weekly, you have your 200-day moving average down here, which is right at support, which is exactly kind of where we're at now. Maybe just a little bit lower, 144. 144 for the 200-day moving average, 247 for the 20-day moving average. So I would be on the lookout for these levels, like I said previously. But so just be careful. Strong red candles underneath the 20. Shout out to Oliver. You're gonna always come back and retest this 200-day moving average. So MSTX, we went over MSTY, we went over MSTY. No, we didn't go over MSTX. Misty did a reverse stock split, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Just look at the daily here. Excuse me. As you can see here, from December 2024, it's just been a downtrend. Fica dura, seca. O chinês, ele congela ela inteira, que o pessoal faz na hora. 30, 60, almost 200%. A little bit over 200% if we come back to the 200-day moving average.
A bexiga da escada amarela. Da escada amarela. Cara, eu já recebi lá de cotação de máfia. Cara, tipo assim, é $60 o quilo. É, porque é fechado. Isso, os caras pagam o quilo, cara. Eu sei isso.
162, I was wrong.
Ela
Almost 200%.
uma gelatina.
I know they're paying dividends still, so just be careful with these things. If you're holding them long term, you shouldn't really be worried about any downward price action. It should be your opportunity. As you can see, we're under the 20 and 200 automatic sells. Same thing vice versa. How do you reverse this? How do you inverse this? If you look at it on the inverse, of the 20 and 200, all buys, right? So keep these things in mind. Keep these things in mind. Keep these things in mind. All right. So now we just did a little bit of TA on BTC. We did MSD. We did MSTX, and we did MSTR. ASST. I'm actually holding this as well. ASST. Shout out to the homie's name, Alfred. Shout out to Alfred. Shout out to everybody tuned in, man. Hit that like, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on X, hit that like button. I just been chilling the last couple months, really, guys. Just been hanging out, man, enjoying life, not really getting too involved with the nonsense, right? Because once you're a Bitcoiner, you start to opt out and start to realize a lot of the stuff that people argue about and the algorithm be algorithming. So make sure you guys stay focused, right? Stay focused, my guys. All right, so here we have ASST. I have ASST. I'm definitely excited and holding this for the long term. 200-day moving average is $3.20. That's 320%, if I'm not mistaken, because we have $100 right now. So boom, 300 or 220%, whatever. So that would be your target. That would be my target that I'm looking for on the actual on this stock, but this could go up to $10. So once Bitcoin pumps, all these are going to start to pump. So you're actually getting a discount and you're getting the opportunity to make some money because a lot of people are not, they're not tech savvy. They are a Bitcoin treasury company as well. So, you know, all the Bitcoin treasury companies are going to dump when Bitcoin dumps and they're going to pump when Bitcoin pumps. We have a gap here that filled here. Gap filled here. Gap filled here. Pull some fibs. Local high. Low.
Isso dentro, tudo barato, ele colocou lá. Eu tenho.
So 138 would be the first target. And then again, back up to 320. All right, first target first target 138. Second target, back to the highs, 180. Third target, 250. Then the final target, 3. All right, so that's what I would trade. That's what I would look at if I were, which I do have a position in. So I'm looking at holding this pretty long term. Imagining this bad boy goes to 5. It can. Look how it gapped. So let's go back in time, right? Look how this thing gapped. 50 cents to $2.50 to $3.38. Gapped up again. 5 to $8. Pulled back, retested. Came right back up to 13, almost 13.50. Pulled back. All right, so once this thing starts to rip, it looks like it's gonna start. Once it starts to rip, guys, it's gonna rip. So be careful. All right, excellent. All right, cool. So boom, that is your TA for ASST. Maybe it'll come back and refill this gap. Don't want it to, but hey, you know how the game goes. Sometimes it'll do that. Maybe come back, retest. Possibly. Hopefully it doesn't do it. But it's always a possibility, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We just try to, So possibly come down. Boom. Or this thing could just come up. Okay, so let's look at our local resistance here. Resistance up here. All right, and then you support at 78.
Não tem.
Let's see what pattern this is making, but not sure. All right, cool. So that's that for the Bitcoin price, and the Treasury. I know there's Naka too, right? I don't have Naka. Not Naka. What's the other one? What's that other stock, guys? I need that stock. That other Bitcoin Treasury stock. Forgot the name of it.
Tem mais um ano. Só tá com uma extensão é mesmo.
Meta Planet, is that not Meta Planet?
Precisamos renovar.
Yeah, it is Meta Planet. I don't really like Meta Planet. I think Meta Planet is, I mean, it's a Bitcoin Treasury company, but I can't do this. MTPLF. Cool. So boom, that's that. Let's go ahead and continue then. We got Rod Wave playing in the background over here. We got let's see if we can get over to Twitter. Let's do CoinGlass.
No Versesso, tá? Você pode pedir. Não, eviction. Isso que tem eviction. Despejo o cartório. Isso, o cartório danos para os livros da 32%. Mas aqui do lá, você faz por cartório, você pode ir no cartório. Pelo contrário, o cara não precisa saber. Não, você precisa saber se você faz um aviso, ó. Estou indo no cartório. Se você não pagar, ó. Tem 48 horas para pagar. Porque isso no cartório. Para você levantar o erro, você tem que pagar no cartório.
All right. We're looking at CoinGlass, and here we see that the longs will be clapped up 10 billion in longs in the last 30 days, around 80,000. Wow. And I'm sure look at the six, we got 4, 5, 6,000, 86, 86, 87, 88, 89, 88, 89. Longs. So those are for longs to be clapped up. All right. If we go lower, we definitely got a lot of longs. We got 10 billion in longs to be clapped. And lower, we got 5 billion at 104, 3 billion at 94, 92. We got almost 1.5. 92, 1.5. All right, cool. So boom, these are the levels I would look at. We use all this in conjunction with the price levels. Of course, if there's, I'm not going to be surprised if we come down lower because look, guys, we have 10.77 billion in cumulative longs to be liquidated at 80,000. Of course, some people want to cover the shorts. Some people got stop losses. Most people don't. So we can see how this can escalate very quickly if we start to head down lower. And then that's how you get these cascading flash crashes and these crazy wicks. All right, same on the opposite side, but I think we head down lower before we head higher based on the actual liquidation on exchanges that we can all see here. And if we can see it, guess what? The big whales can see it, the exchanges can see it, and they're going to liquidate you every time before they pick a direction. Hyperliquid liquidation map. This is newer, and I don't really look at this data. I'm not really sure how to read it. Well, here it is. Maybe we can read, right? And we'll figure out how to use it. Well, I'm talking about the second map. I know how to use the first map. What about the second map? I guess it's the same thing, right? All right, we're looking at. Let's make this. What's going on here? I don't know how to read this. Cumulative liquidated long game. Liquidation loans. Current price 91. Okay, so this is the price of Bitcoin down here. Okay, okay, that makes sense. All right, and okay, cool, cool. I don't know why it would even 10,000 Bitcoin. All right, we're definitely not going that low. This is 73 right here. Look at this. 73 is a big one. We got 64, another big candle. We got all these candles here too. Look at this. All right, cool. So I'm starting to learn this. I'm learning this in real time with you guys. I don't really use the hyper liquid liquidation map. I always use this one, just the regular Bitcoin on exchanges map. But it's good to have more data, right? So here we have shows to be liquidated 370 Bitcoin, 92, 94. All right, so we use this data in conjunction with this data. Either way, I still think that we come down lower. Look at that, 73,000, which is lines right up with what we just said with BTC. As far as a bear flag play out, 73 is right here. You hold, don't hold, next level, next level. Boom, boom. All right, cool. So
Assessorar o discutor, mas é contemporâneo, né? Da década de 60. Não, não, não. O americano que ele escreveu é 1984. Qualquer um com balde de lavagem, não limitando os caras.
they got a new model on the coin glass. So we have 1 and 2 model that we used to look at back in the day. Now we have 1, 2, and 3. I wonder what the difference is. Just look at the 30-day, which is 1 month. We're gonna look at BTC, of course. We're gonna come on, man. I don't know my username and password. Show me the data. This is just the same thing. I guess it's just going to show you on the map the heat maps. Heat maps are going to just show you the actual changes on the map with the color changes here. Also, you can change the color scheme. Okay. Okay. Look at this, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but if we don't hold 85, 83, we are coming down to 70-ish level as we can look at the charts and tell. Hopefully we don't. Either way, I'm going to be good. Hopefully we don't come down that low. Hopefully we do come down that low. You can look at it either way. I hope it does come down that low. Discounts on sats. Let's look at Model 3. Let's see if they can let us use Model 3. I've never used Model 3 before. Ooh, that looks a lot cleaner. I like it.
que tu me deste. Não, não, não. Pior ainda.
Let's go back to 1 month. Come on, man. Let me see if I can remember my username and password. I like Model 3 the best. It definitely looks real good. I'll just log in with Google.
Não assumir responsabilidade sobre seus atos. Eu sou da TV sobre o que é pior. Eu assumir responsabilidade sobre as suas emoções. Porque não está nem mais do que sim, sim, sim. Ele sabe, exatamente, ele sabe que o final está assim. Explique que ele sabe que uma promessa de Deus.
I was trying to play my music earlier, man. It won't on Safari. It won't let me share the specific tab for some reason. So I'm not able to play any of that new music that I do. Definitely want you guys to go check out my new music. It is on Apple Music and Spotify. I haven't been able to upload the brand new album yet, which is House of Jesus. Is not on the YouTube channel yet, but you can still go to. It is available on Spotify. Bitcoin, not just so it knows who it is. All right, while that's loading, let's look at this map. I really like this Model 3. This looks really much cleaner, much nicer, look much easier to see what's going on here. So I like it. I like it a lot. Go to symbol. Guess it's frozen. Whatever. All right, cool. So we're going back here. We're gonna go here. This song is not mine. I already told Spotify. I already told TuneCore this isn't my song, but that's fine. We got the brand new album, House of Jesus, out now. Came out in December, the end of December, but it wasn't able to post onto the platforms until today. So it is now available for you guys to listen to today. Go check it out if you like house music. This house music is actually praising the Lord. All right, it's super fire. Thanks to AI, super fire. We got accomplished. This is going to be your uh, Afro beats type vibes. So we got that. We got the House of Satoshi. Where's the House of Satoshi at? Why y'all playing with me? There it is. House of Satoshi, fire. Fire. This is all fire. This is obviously back in 2018. Woo, almost. This is almost 10 years ago in 2 years. Wow. It's crazy. All right, so boom, we got that. We got other singles. We got singles. We got Born in the Dip. We got Home to You, Bad Man Forever, Oh My God, and much more. So make sure that you guys go tune in and add me to the Spotify, man. You guys are gonna like it. So if you like house, boom, I got the house. You guys like rap, boom, I got the rap. Obviously, that's what I've been doing. I got the country. There's a country singer named Chris Knight as well. No point intended, no pun intended. You know, I got the country hat on. I got the storm with the country. You know, I got the country, but I'm not that Chris Knight, right? There's a Chris Knight that does country music, and he's from Kentucky. Obviously, that's not me, but this is my country song, my country album, my own country EP album. I like it a lot. I don't remember when this dropped. This is earlier in the year, April. Okay, that dropped earlier in that year. The Storm is the single off of that EP. We got again lots of good music from back in the days, and actually a lot of this music is old except for the country. Old as far as when I created it, and then from it being created to being released, except for the Bitcoin Country EP that was very simple, very easy for me to create 8 songs. It's 5 songs. Release it very easy. Drink up. I think we created this in 2002 or three. Just now released it. Kryptonites was created with AI. Bitcoin Love created with AI. Bitcoin Party created with AI. Found You Again created with AI. Everything else been coming out has been created with AI. So you would never know if it was created with AI unless I told you, and I just told you. So it's created with AI, but I am the one creating the lyrics, right? So the lyrics is created by moi using Suno, and these songs are popping. I love the music that I'm making or creating on Suno, and then for me to be able to create, I created these albums like that, right? So before it just takes so much time to create music as far as a whole album quality quality work, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with taking your time to create an album, but I wanted to put out more music, right, in 2025, and that's exactly what I did. Uh, so again, make sure you guys go check out the music. I am on Spotify and on Apple Music, so make sure you guys go check that out.
Só que a nós é total. Deus não disse, eu quero amor genuíno, eu quero amor genuíno. Eu quero que você escolha. Você quer
It's gonna pop up there. iTunes. Is iTunes gone, guys? iTunes is gone, guys. Let me see. It won't even. I don't even think I have this set up. I have Apple Music, I just don't have it set up on. I'm not logged into my account, but yeah, I think I can search for it. Can I? Oh, you can. Okay, there I am. So there you go, guys. I am excited. I don't know how these songs this just came out today, even though it says December 22nd, 27th has not been out since December 27th because I had to do some changes. That's when it was sent to the stores. They had to fix a few things, made the correction. It just got released today because I definitely checked yesterday. It wasn't there. So, boom, I don't know how if these songs are top songs that just came out today, but again, hey, it is what it is. I don't care. I thought it was dope. But so check out the music. Shout out to everybody tuned in. And now, with that being said, let's jump. I can't even check out Twitter because I'm not logged into my Twitter now. There's a lot going on Twitter, guys. Let's see if I can remember my username and password for Twitter.
você se entendeu? Você não indigno, não. Você se sente não. Sabe, você me diz, olha, te quer. Sim. Quem Deus? Sim, não vai rezar e pensar. Se combinar com
I remembered my password. Let's go. All right, cool. So we got a lot to talk about. Finally, after all that, right? And now we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into the main. Yeah, we're already an hour in. Boom. We're an hour in. I definitely like to shout out the Maverick approach. Go check out this episode if you guys have not yet. Dom Kalam, we got Equity, we got the Maverick approach. Cool. Boom. Check this out. Check them out. Check them out when you can. Boom. So here we have a lot to talk about, a lot going on, a lot that has been happened in the last 8 days of 2026. So let's jump right into it, right? Boom. I have a lot of tweets. I've definitely cut back on Twitter as well, but I'm, back and forth, you got to stay in the loop of things, right? So you can't be too out of the loop, right? So I want to jump into. I definitely started to. I don't really like Grok. I don't really like um, ChatGPT with the new updates on ChatGPT, like the 5.0 and the 5.1 and 5.2. Trash. I use 4.0 on Chat. Um, but obviously, you got to do your own due diligence because Chat and Grok be wrong, right? You can't just take everything at face value. You got to know what you're talking about. But I wanted to jump into a few things here because we got a lot of we got a lot going on in the world. All right, boom. Most people don't know that there's a difference between U.S. citizens and Americans. Please make sure that you understand that there is a difference. All right. I went in last night. This was me in the bed last night because typically I ask these questions and have these conversations with ChatGPT, and I already know the answers to a lot of these things. So I would decided last night. There's a lot of phone died. We back. Yo, yo. Is that better? Is that better? All right, cool. All right. Of course, let's jump into it. All right, so boom, I have to ask these things so that way people can see what chat says or what Grok says, right? Not what I say, not what. Matter of fact, it's not even what they say. It's about what the law says, right? So I definitely try to ask ask better questions so we can get better answers, right? We have a lot of people upset about what's going on with ICE. So, I asked a simple question: are ICE agents allowed to stop you randomly and ask for your ID? Come on now. As we should all know your rights, they cannot stop you for no reason and ask you for your ID. Same thing with the cops, right? You got to be committing a crime. I asked Grok if it could, if it would, what payments it would accept if it could. It said it would accept Bitcoin, which is obvious, right? We have a lot of different things here that I've posted that a lot of people are not very privy to, or they're just too busy doing what the skit says, right? A lot of people are caught up in life, caught up in the everyday life of working and going back and just working and just getting distracted about things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but it is what it is, right? This is a really good video. Um, Definitely check it out. This is very important. I post a lot of, I would say, thought provoking posts. So we got proof that everybody. Oh yeah, we had a lot happen again these last few days, right? Especially with the fraud that's going on in Minnesota. Now, and I'm sure, obviously, that's not only Minnesota. That's probably every single state. They have fraud, and of course, this isn't brand new, right? These things, this stuff has been happening for a very long time, guys. This is not anything new. The government is just now, right? They know what's going on. They're lazy. These government officials get paid by the tax dollars, so they're going to do whatever it is that they want to do, right? And now that they're caught, right? And now that like they're supposed to, our government officials that we hire, like the CIA, FBI, whatever, they're supposed to be proactive, right? You're supposed to be proactive and stop these things from happening. Or if it's getting to a point where you have, for an example, $7 million in child food stamp fraud. Uh, I just don't. I personally don't believe that you can have all this fraud and not see what's going on the ledgers. Right? They know what's going on. They just turn a blind eye to it because they're also a part of they're part of it. Right? They're getting kickback. They're getting paid from it too. Right? You get paid to turn a blind eye. So now that everybody's complaining and everybody's talking about it, now they want to, you know, now they want to tweet on Twitter and be all pro, like be pro law, right? Now that they're caught, right, and now that everybody's complaining and wants to hold them accountable for their actions, now everybody wants to act like they're doing their job and doing what they're supposed to do, right? When they should have been doing what they're supposed to do, should have been keeping checks and balances these on these programs, right, that are funded by tax dollars, right? So, with that being said, I digress. Further proof that income we earn as wages and or salary, which is based on hours worked, it's not taxable. Why? If you, I've gone over this. This is so funny because I've gone over all this stuff, pretty much all of last year, where I'm teaching you about law, talking about why you really don't have to pay taxes and how you can get around lawfully of tax avoidance lawfully, right? Not tax evasion, because that's how you get in trouble. So if you understand what's going on, like I said earlier, just now, there's a difference between U.S. citizens and Americans, right? So you need to understand who you are, and if you are a U.S. citizen and you want to pay taxes, taxes are voluntary. I've said this several times, but the sheep are going to continue to sheep, right? And now that all the fraud is being exposed, now everybody's concerned and wants to know, oh, don't want to pay taxes and all this, that, and the third, right? Well, guess what? You weren't supposed to be paying that in the first place, but if that's what you want to do, then that's what you're gonna do, right? We can't stop you from doing what you want to do. Do what you got to do. Do what you want to do. So, boom, we trade our labor for a fair rate of exchange. So, if you're exchanging um, your time and energy for an agreed upon rate of money, that's an equal trade, right? There is no gain, no profit, or benefit from that because why? It's an equal exchange. It's very simple. So if you're exchanging your work
for money, it's an equal exchange. It's very simple. It's an equal trade. There's no gain, profit, or benefit from that. The business owner's only is the only one gaining, profiting, and benefiting from you and your labor. So the tax liability is on his income unless he knows how to get around it, which you should already know that these businesses, when they whatever they pay you, they get that back on their taxes, guys. Y'all don't understand payroll. They get that money back on payroll. I'm not gonna go into that right now. But anyways, individual or entity's tax liability, essence of taxable income, is the accrual of some gain, profit, or benefit to taxpayer. And it's sad that most people just don't read. And just because you've been doing something one way for ever doesn't mean that you're right. Because we've been doing fiat currency for literally ever, and it's failed every single time. So does that mean it's right? No, it's not right. It's actually wrong. Fiat currency is the wrong type of currency you want to be using. You want to be using hard money like Bitcoin, right? Boom. Now, obviously, we understand 1933. They took us off the gold standard. They have to have something in place that was easily accessible for the masses to to pay for things, right? Because they took away the gold and silver, which is something I went over with chat, right? I went in with chat, right? Boom, boom, boom. We got. Maybe I can go down some of the. Yeah, so let me go back up because I did a lot of. Let me go to replies. I got a lot of context I want to go over here real quick before I end this. You've already been on here for an hour. Bear flag on spot faked us out. Let me look at that spot real quick because I thought spot was gonna break down. That shit did not. Got clapped on puts. That low. Yo, why is Safari so trash, bro? All right, cool, boom.
That's how the narrow used to put servers. Oh my god! Oh, I got dark real fast. You know it gets dark around 5. We think this.
All right, cool. This is a great little thread right here. So we'll jump into this. How many times do banks get paid for mortgage? And this ain't even right because I got the right answer. I got the correct information and the right answer on a different chat, which is why on Chat GPT and also on Claude, right? So you got to use this Claude, there's DeepSeek, there's Manus, there's Grok, and then there's Chat GPT, right? Those are like the 5 that I use. So you can use what you want, but you gotta know what you're talking about, right? So I made a mistake here, but how many times do banks get paid from a mortgage and mortgage-backed securities? They sell to investors, payments from the quote-unquote borrower, notes from the Federal Reserve Bank, which they get, and then the promissory note paid to the order of. Using facts and conclusion law, explain how GAAP works. Boom. Banks originate mortgages and earn from origination fee. This is all cap, bro. They do get paid multiple times. This is a lie. So we're gonna skip the cap. The application. The application gets Federal Reserve notes from the Federal Reserve Bank. The promissory note is endorsed and used as a financial asset. Payments from the consumer and the mortgage-backed security payment. They sell the entire note to investors. I know how this works. Stop being low IQ and get with the program, you idiot. You gotta talk to him like that, right? Shout out to Eon. Banks fund mortgages with their capital or borrowings. That's cap. Banks are not allowed to lend their own money. So that's a lie. Promissory note is an asset they can sell via mortgage-backed securities. Yes, we do know that. Recognizing gain under GAAP and ASC. I forgot what ASC is. 860. Borrower payments to the servicer or investors post sale. Banks don't double dip. This is cap. It's just cap code. So it says if you have specific sources, share. No, bro, you're supposed to know this. But anyway, let's continue. How GAAP says every debt is set off by our credit and vice versa. I asked Grok, hey, explain this $600,000 mortgage. A promissory note is deposited and offset. Explain according to the UCC, right? And of course, it gives me these little ass explanations, right? And double bookkeeping entry accounting every debit has a credit for a $600,000 mortgage origination. Debit loans receivable. What's a receivable? Look these things up. 600K asset for the future payments. No, it's an asset on its face. So, credit cash, 600K, funds lent to borrower. The promissory note is the legal evidence of a receivable. It is not deposited to offset or cancel the debt. The borrower still owes repayment. And I said, okay, you got to look at these words, repay. Under UCC Article 3, the promissory note is a negotiable instrument that can be endorsed, transferred, but the obligation remains until paid. No automatic offset. I didn't say it was automatic. Can you prove the bank actually lent its own money? Don't lie. Banks originate mortgages using their balance sheet funds, including capital deposits or borrowings. Deposits, yes. Borrowings, I'm not sure about. Capital, I'm not sure about. They disperse actual funds to you. No, they don't. They give it to the seller, creating a loan asset proof from the OCC handbook. Initially via warehouse lines before sale. FDIC notes banks lend from deposits pooled of assets. Yeah, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Sounds good. Show me on the ledger where they loaned us anything. We apply and provide a promissory note. Credit is a right granted. And that's the thing. Let's look this up. A right to defer payments of goods and services. A right is the right. The right to defer payments for goods and services. It's a right. The right. The right granted by a creditor. But that's the thing I'm trying to tell you guys is you are the creditor. And why are you the creditor? You're the creditor because you're the one who signs, who gives your autograph, which gives the actual value. But people don't listen. You think I'm crazy, but it's okay. I'll be crazy. All right, let's go back. No, go back. All right, cool, boom. So I said, all right, I said, show me on the ledger, boom. In a mortgage origination, a ledger, GAAP, there's a double book keeping entry, debit, loan, receivable. Your assets, for your future payments, credit, cash, funds dispersed to you. Your promissory note is a legal promise to pay. It's not the funding source, which is a lie. It is the funding source. Credit isn't a right. We just read that credit's a right. The right granted by a creditor. So what you talking about? That's what I'm saying. You got to know what you're talking about because it's sitting here capping to you. And if you don't know better, you're just going to take it at face value. Grok, the promissory note is the source of funds. You lied again. And it becomes security. Mortgage-backed security. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And I don't think that it responded back. Did you respond back? Oh, there it is. Promissory note is your legal promise to pay, not the funding source. That is actually not correct. Okay. The note becomes the bank asset. At origination, it backs the disbursement and it can be pledged, sold, or securitized immediately, even with structured warehouse conduits or overnight Fed operations. OCC mortgage backed handbook sections on the secondary market and loan sales ASC 860, especially 86010, 4510, 25.2, operating circular number 10, and the bit borrow and custody program, right? A lot of this stuff is going to go over y'all heads because y'all don't read, cause y'all gotta read, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm just letting y'all know. If credit is a right granted, then you can't be denied credit, right? Credit means a right granted by a creditor. Who's a creditor? You're a creditor. Why are you a creditor? Because you provide the value. Without you, there is no account. There is no money to be made. There's no nothing without you. So if you don't understand that, then you can, kick rocks. Because I don't really care. The law. It is what it is. It is what it is. Is a promissory note a security? Yes or no? If we provide a security to the bank, we provided a financial which the banks can use. Explain. Yes, it is. Yeah, so it says no, a promissory note isn't always a security. What? We didn't say anything about always being a security. We're talking about specifically in this actual section. Rock. Without the note, no credit can be extended. This is common sense. Stop and cut the malarkey. True, the promissory note is crucial. It is the asset that allows the banks to extend credit by recording it on their books. Without it, no loans happen. But the bank creates new money through the lending process, not the borrower. Cap. Banks are the borrowers technically. We provide a financial asset. No, banks are not the borrowers technically. In a standard loan, you are. Cap. I disagree. But let's move forward. Why? I've gone over all this stuff with you guys. If the banks don't have power to lend their own money, they lend out your money. That's what they do. They lend out your money that you put in the bank. But the promissory note does become security. All right, so let's go here. Boom, boom, boom. Banks lend us their own money. It's gonna say no. It's gonna prove my point here. It's gonna say no. And I asked it about the modern money mechanics, which is a Federal Reserve. Uh, it's a book written by someone in the Federal Reserve, just pretty much breaking down how the money works and the lending practices. You should see one that's 308, not 108. I made a mistake. Boom. Can you explain HR 192 and Public Law 7310 to an eighth grader with examples? Because this is what we have to understand. State obligations can be discharged. States obligations can be discharged dollar for dollar. States, not only states, bro. So yeah, I went in. As you can clearly see. And because I know what's going on, like anytime I try to like go back and forth with anytime I see that it's not like understanding, or if I ask the wrong question, or if I ask the wrong way, or if I make a mistake. If I make a mistake, I say, yeah, my mistake. But if I'm asking it simple questions like, what's a certificate of indebtedness? Um, and is it obligation of the United States, which it is, because it literally says that here in 18 USC 8, and it like says all obligations, right? Obligations issued by U.S. government, like the Treasury and all this stuff. Like, come on, bro. Like, all debts are obligations of the United States. It says not all debts. I was like, come on, bro. Like, you can't, you can't win. You can't win sometimes with these AI. So as long as you know what's up, then you can win. All right. Let's see what else I went into. And the Bitcoin stuff. I asked if there's been more. The Homeland Department of Homeland Security said that there's been a like thousands of percentage of increase in quote unquote attacks to law enforcement. I said, all right, well, let's see what the data says. And then Chet said it couldn't find the data. So I'm like, all right, well, if you can't find the data, where are they getting the data from? Because they be lying. But the data does show that there has been a rise of attacks on law enforcement over the last 5 to 10 years, 5 years, I think I said 5 or 10 years. And I said, well, why is that? Why is there an attack? Or why is there more of an attack? Why are their attacks increasing? Why do you think that is? And couldn't really give me an answer, right? Of course. But here it says the post cites 1,300% increase in insults and 8,000% increase in death threats against ICE agents. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not saying that that's not right or wrong. I'm just saying where are they getting these numbers from, right? That's all I'm asking. I said I think they're lying about the 1,300% and increased in assaults, because who who in the right mind would assault law enforcement? But I know there's people out here that are crazy, right? I'm not naive to that, but the average person is not. Nobody's trying to deal with any of that. We got 50-50 on this whole situation here. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but I recommend that you just mind your business, stack your Bitcoin and chill, and just don't even. While you out in the streets, go home to your family, bro. Like, take care of your family, bro. Don't be worried about all that other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. All right, so I went over a lot today. We went over Bitcoin, we went over Grok and AI and technology and what's going on in today's world, or at least the first 8 days. We have Venezuela getting taken over. Taking that oil. He stole it. He stole it. We steal it. We steal it. We broke international law, and it really doesn't matter, because who's gonna stop us, right? Who's gonna stop the United States from doing these things that they've been doing? Ain't nobody gonna do it. So guess what? They're gonna do whatever they want to do. It is what it is. So this is just a lot that's been going on. I want to recommend that you guys chill, stacking Bitcoin and chill. Here we go. You see AI? Trump new. Trump says he is instructing unnamed representative to buy 200 billion in mortgage-backed securities to bid in a bid to narrow mortgage spreads to bring down rates. What did I just tell you, good? What were you just talking about? Mortgage-backed securities. Isn't that funny how life works? Isn't that funny how I tell you guys about the mortgage-backed securities? I tell you that they take your note, sell your note to investors, so they get money that way. The investors get paid over time by you, boom, 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 which extinguishes the debt. Because in order for them to put the house as collateral, you have to own the collateral because you can't put something up as collateral that you don't own, but you don't know that. So it's a crazy system and a crazy game that they got out here, especially with mortgages um, and loans, credit cards. It's the same across the board. Uh, but it is what it is. But here we are. We scroll down just a little bit after talking about mortgage-backed securities. I didn't get really too deep into it, which is why they can't really foreclose on your home. If you know, then you know, because they separate the note and the mortgage, and they cannot be inseparable, which I went over previously as well. We can pull that up as well because if you know, you know. The law actually says that, right? It's not me saying these things, guys. The law. There's laws that say that you cannot separate. What did I say? How to beat a foreclosure? The law says we can actually look that up. Yeah, we'll look it up instead because I'd rather do that. Screw what I say. Screw what I say. The Supreme Court ruling that says the note and the mortgage can't be separated, and if so, banks can't foreclose. There isn't a single Springer ruling explicitly stating mortgages can't be separated. Rather, foundational cases like establish that the security follows the debt, the note, meaning that the note is primary, and if the note is transferred, the mortgage goes with it, allowing the note to transfer. It's not what it says, bruh. An assignment of the mortgage alone is a nullity. Yo, see, this is why you can't even. Let me go to Perplexity, guys. Perplex. Anytime you try to break down and get some right information, bro, they're gonna give you They're gonna give you the wrong. They're gonna give you the wrong information, right? So let's go in here. Let's go in here, right? Come on, man. Y'all gotta make everybody sign into everything, bro. Golly, bro. I think I've already went over this with you guys too. It's just like I said, I just wanted to show you guys the cases itself, so that way it's not me. I'll just show you the. I think these go into appeals, right? I think they try to foreclose on these people, not having the note and the mortgage because they're separated, and then they try to foreclose on people. I don't know. Can I just ask a question, bro? What's going on, bro? No, I don't want to download this, bro. Let me just ask. Did they change City Dog? Can I use you or not? There we go. Banks that lost a foreclosure due to separation of the note. And then there we go. So I said DeepSeek. I said Chat. I said there's Grok, obviously. There's Manus, and there's Claude, and then there's Perplexity, right? So you got to use all these things in conjunction. But here, not me. It says courts have, in some cases, ruled against banks in foreclosure actions when the banks do not prove it held or had the right to enforce the promissory note, including situations involving lost notes or defects caused by what? Securitization. What is securitization? Mortgage-backed securities. They securitize it. Boom. And the assignment change. These cases typically turn on standing. They don't have proper standing. But if you don't know what's going on, they feed off your intelligence and they take advantage of you and they take your home, even though they've been paid several times. Once again, they get the note, they go to the Federal Reserve Bank. Boom, one. They get the note, their promissory note, they turn that bit around, pay to the order of, boom, notes. Two, boom, securitization, mortgage-backed securities, selling it to investors. Boom, and then you're paying them. Boom, so they do get paid more than one time. Whether Grok wants to admit it or whether you want to admit it or not, the real people know because the real ones know because you're going to do your research, you're going to read it, you're going to know what's really going on. The party must have standing, meaning it must show it is the person entitled to enforce the note, either as a holder or a non-holder in possession with enforcement rights. If it cannot prove this because, for example, the note is lost and the bank cannot establish when and how, who, and how it was lost, how, when, and by whom it was lost, excuse me, courts deny foreclosures. Okay, so cases that prove it. All right, 2011, 2010. Oh, look at that. That's right around the time that they tried to finesse everybody, right? After giving bad loans. U.S. Bank versus Ibanez. The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court held that two securitization trusts lack standing to foreclose. Why? Because they could not prove they were the mortgage assignees at the time of their foreclosure sale. The assignments into the trust were defective or incomplete when the foreclosure occurred. Let's look at the next one. A bankruptcy court applying California law described that the note and the mortgage are inseparable. What did I just say? But you want to have Google sit here and tell me that I was wrong. This is what I'm telling you guys. You gotta read and don't listen. Read for yourself. Don't even listen to what I'm saying. Read it for yourself. The note and the mortgage are inseparable, and that the assignment of the mortgage without the note is nullity. So what they do is the mortgage is separate from your promissory note, and they sell the promissory note because that's the value, which we just discussed, which I just went over with Grok, right? Because the promissory note is a security, it's a financial asset, right? This is how they make money, bro. This is how they get money from the Federal Reserve Bank. It's the application. I'm sorry, how they get the notes from the Federal Reserve Bank. So earlier I said it was the promissory note that allows them to get the notes from the Federal Reserve Bank. I apologize, that's incorrect. It is the application that allows them to take that to the Federal Reserve Bank, which allows them to then get the Federal Reserve notes. So I apologize, I misspoke. All right, cool. Oh, look, this case is frequently cited in arguments that securitization in MERS structures can produce a purification problem. What does purification mean? The division of something into two branches or parts. A separation problem. If the person or party, because a person or party or a person is a corporation seeking to foreclose cannot show it owns or can enforce the note. The note and the mortgage is inseparable. So when the banks and we're gonna see how this responds. Oh yeah, it won't even let you yet. You getting too deep, girl. You do. I thought I just logged in, bro. Didn't I log in, bro? Didn't I already log in, bro? We gonna end it on that note. So, oh, let me back. All right, we'll finish up with this, guys, and then we're up out of here. Am I still good? Yeah, I'm still good. In the classic United. Okay, there's something called the supremacy clause. Look it up. So whatever the Supreme Court rules, that's binding. Period. Across the entire country. Point blank. Period. Okay. In the classic United States Supreme Court case, Carpenter versus Logan, which we just saw on Google. But Google wants to tell us what? That I was wrong, right? By stating what I just stated. You guys can rewind it and see what it said, right? Carpenter versus Logan, the court said the note and the mortgage are inseparable. The former is essential and the latter is as an incident, as an assignment of the notes carries the mortgage with it, while the assignment of the latter alone is nullity is a nullity. The principle is often summarized as the mortgage follows the note, meaning whoever holds the note is treated as having beneficial interest in the mortgage, securitizing it or securing it. So, all right, this will be the final question. Because this is actually fraud. What they do is that they defraud you out of it because you don't know what's going on. They can get away with the fraud. All right, so MERS and remix are central to how modern securitized mortgages are structured, but the argument that they don't have standing on securitized is only sometimes true and depends on heavily on how the documents are transferred and were actually done and how a given state's courts views them. I disagree. Fair enough, but I disagree. You guys know what MERS is, right? Mortgage Electronic Registration System, a private registry. A what? Private registry, usually in the name of the mortgage or deed of trust as mortgagee or beneficiary of record, but never owns the note. How the hell did they become the beneficiary if it's your mortgage? Who made them benefit? Yeah, let me ask them. Who gave MERS the right to be a beneficiary if I didn't give them the right, as it's my note in my house? All right, courts have split on how much MERS can do. Yes, yeah, that's because you don't know what's going on. They gonna get you every time. What a REMIC is and how securitization works. A REMIC, real estate mortgage investment conduit, is a tax structure used for mortgage-backed securities. What I just tell you guys, man. The loans are supposed to be transferred into a REMIC trust within strict time limits and in specific ways to preserve favorable tax statuses. The securitization chain typically goes originator, sponsor, depositor, remake trust with a trustee, and then the trust then issues mortgage-backed securities to investor services and sub-servicers, collect payments and handle defaults. Boom. What did I tell you guys, man? I told you they put it into a trust, and then the trust issues mortgage-backed securities to investors. I told you they sell to investors, guys. Everything I'm telling you, I know what look it up. Why standing can fail and after securitization. Borrowers often argue that once loans are securitized or placed into a remake, they have no standing for close because the note and mortgage were split, or because transfers occurred outside the remake cutoff date, which thus were void. And some courts have rejected these theories outright. Well, guess what? They have, and then they go to what? It's called appeals court, and then when they go to appeals, that's how you get these cases like what we just read up here, which is Carpenter versus Logan. Let's see how it answers this, and then that's going to be it. It's because from the contract you signed, the mortgage and deed of trust plus state laws on contracts and agency. You did, in legal terms, consent MERS to roll. You signed documents expressing them in MERS and granted it those rights. So if I granted those rights, if I granted them those rights, I can revoke those rights. Is that correct? Because of course they don't want you to. Anyways, yeah, if you granted them a security interest, you granted them um, if you granted them the if you granted them the powers, right? Then you have the power to revoke. You are the grantor of the trust. There's a trust transaction going on, and the trust you're the grantor, which means you control the trust. And if you didn't know that they were being assigned through deception in the legal terms and consent, through thick ass paperwork that you didn't read, then you should be able to unilaterally you don't have see yeah, this is why you can't go back and forth with them, bro. You can't go back and forth with these AIs. They're trained, they're programmed a specific way to combat any type of remedy. All right, so let me ask you. Truth in lending. Did it disclose that they're going to securitize your note? No, they didn't. Did it disclose that you are giving them security? No, they didn't. Did it disclose that you that they got paid 3 different times, including the way that including you paying them? No, they didn't. Right. So you gotta come right. Right. So with that being said, I'm about to log up out of here. I'm gonna log off up out of here. I hope you guys have had a great day. We're going to jump into a little bit more. Well, we don't talk about conspiracies, but I believe in the aliens. I believe in the demons, the fallen angels, aliens. We're going to talk about all that good stuff, right? Talk about current events. I'll try to jump on at least 1 or 2 times a week. I'm doing a lot of. I'm doing law. I'm learning a lot about law. I'm learning a lot about. I'm studying law because they expect you to know the law, right? They expect you to know the law, right? And ignorance of the law is what? No excuse. So you should know the law. So I'm studying the law. I've been studying law for at least a year now, and I think it's very vital to your overall, not only it's very vital to your overall financial stability in this country to know the law, know GAAP, know UCC, know contract law, know trust law. Know these things, because if you don't, you're gonna get taken advantage of, which is like 99% of the country, right? That's why there's only a top 1% of people that own everything and that control everything, right? Because they know what you don't know. And so, with that being said, you just stack your Bitcoin and chill. We are here for a good time, not a long time. We are blessed and highly favored. God is good. Go check out my new music. Head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris. Get $10 free Bitcoin. Start your DCA. The link is still working, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, get your Fold card if you haven't been stacking on Fold. I don't know what you've been doing. Uh, you know, enjoy your life, enjoy your family. Try to get off of social media. They do a lot of things. They have a lot of the algorithms. The algorithm be algorithm, because they know how to get under your skin. They know how to piss you off. They know how to make sure people get in their feelings, right? And they use that energy, and they uh, they take advantage of our emotions and the energy, right? They suck the energy out of us. So, with that being said, I'm on my Jimmy song, swag, cowboy hat. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stack your Bitcoin and chill. God loves you. I love you. See you in the next video. Bitcoin tatted. I got no fear. Stack always. Stack Bitcoin always, right? Uh, Again, listen to my new music. Go check out the new music. You have to listen to the new music. All right, you have to listen to the new music, guys. If you don't like house music, there's rap. I got more music on the way. More music on the way. But in the meantime, I got rap on there. I got country on there, and I got house music. And I love house music. So that being said, see you guys next time. Bitcoin Chris checking out. Peace.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Running with country bass, country bass.